Welcome Facebook Live, Elyse Southwell here at Times Square at Nasdaq market site for Nasdaq Disruptors. We have a very cool guest today, entrepreneur and CMO of beverage company BeyondEnergy. Please welcome James Kinney.
Thanks for having me, Elyse. Happy Friday, happy Labor Day weekend.
Happy Labor Day weekend to you. So
Thanks.
Let's jump right in. Obviously, thanks for being here. And so we go way back. I've known you for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I know that you launched a consulting firm, 30,000 feet.
Yep.
So tell me, how did you go from launching a consultant firm to launching beverage company BeyondEnergy?
So Dr. Andrew Inman, the founder and CEO of the company, I was at his place in Albuquerque, New Mexico about 5 or 6 years ago, and he talked about that there's a need for human performance and a need for drive, and that no one had ever really put that into a beverage. So literally on a sheet of paper, like most great ideas, he wrote down the concept for what then was called Aqua Dopa, which is the world's first nutraceutical beverage. From there, as the CMO, I helped him develop the brand, our messaging, and what we have today, which is the world's first functional beverage that goes beyond energy.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what was, I guess, the process like of building, a beverage business?
It's actually quite arduous. So our beverage in particular is built on an ancient aromatic Indian herb called Mucuna pruriens. And in Africa, they call it African velvet bean. So those components are really only made by about 2 manufacturers in the world. There's vitamin and supplement companies that use it in a pill form, but no one until Dr. Inman had ever really put it into a drink. Wow. So finding a company that can develop it from a scientific formulation perspective was tough. We found someone in Louisville, Kentucky that we have a great partnership with. From there, we had to do what's called co-packing in the Northeast. And then from there, the distribution is the most challenging part, but that's what we're going to talk about here today as well, how to disrupt that distribution channel.
Yeah, so I guess disrupting, would you say that BeyondEnergy is a disruptor in the consumer packaged goods space, in the drink space?
Absolutely. So the energy drink market, as people call it, right, or the functional beverage market, and we also call it the RTD, which means ready to drink. When you walk into any convenience store or supermarket, or the things you can grab from the cooler, right? Mm-hmm. So that RTD sector has been huge since the 1990s. The original functional beverage was Coca-Cola, right? So having Coca in a beverage and making people feel good was something that's been around and part of American history forever. Right. So for us, we're absolutely a disruptor because having L-Dopa, which is the precursor to dopamine, has never been put into a beverage before. And it's our natural neurocognitive process of wanting to be rewarded. So our Acuity beverage enhances that process, and that's never been done before.
Do you think that a lot of people know about dopamine and you're going to have to do some education there?
Yeah, I would say, our toughest hurdle is consumer behavior and educating the consumers about what is a Acuity beverage, what is a functional beverage. So yeah, educating them on neuroscience. There's only a few neuroscientists for a reason, right? So we're not trying to, turn consumers into neuroscientists, but most people have heard of dopamine. Mm-hmm. The power of dopamine, a lot of people don't know. But since we're streaming on Facebook Live now, Facebook is addictive because we get a reward from seeing a like. Right, and someone hits the love button on our post, we feel a reward which releases dopamine in the brain.
So congratulations on being in 220 stores.
Thank you.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
So what would you say, I guess, it was like entering a saturated market, or some might say is a saturated market? You go into the drugstores and the delis, and you see tons of drinks. How was that? Right.
So without mentioning any other brands, there's several 800-pound gorillas in this space, right? So for us, it was very difficult to get shelf space. For a lot of the people who are watching or may not know, the war for shelf space is fierce. So there's slotting fees, there's packaging fees, and retailers in particular value the little space that they have. So for us to be in 220 stores and counting was a significant task. The way that we did that is that we're truly disruptive and we're truly different. Mm-hmm. In terms of retailers looking to deliver an experience to consumers that doesn't currently exist, we exuded that, and that's why we've grown so fast.
I didn't know anything about fees, shelf fees. And
yeah.
people. So you're telling me that drinks pay to be on shop.
Absolutely.
Really?
So, okay, in the grand scheme of what it costs for us to make the beverage to wholesale to retail,
Sure.
there's a whole list that I could show you, from distributors to what retailers. So the marketing, the advertising inside of the store, that is literally an advertising platform. Most
Wow.
consumers don't know that, but when you see spinach granola bars or whatever that it is on that end cap,
Right.
that end cap is prime real estate that costs money.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
Seriously, no idea. So, you know, obviously we said that it was a disruptor, and it's different from all these other drinks that are in the shop. So, how was it? How would you say that separates you from your main competition, or do you not have any competition?
We don't have any competition in terms of being a acuity beverage and having muconiferin specifically, but of course we have competitors, being that it is a functional beverage. So we're up against kombucha, you know, a lot of healthy beverages that are on the market. Of course, we're up against those right now, but we're only 50 calories. We're using only natural sugars. So we've taken the time over the last several years to formulate a beverage that is impactful to the consumers that are taking it. You know, we target high performance individuals, and that's why we say BeyondEnergy performance. So working professionals, people that need high levels of neurocognitive function, which is all of us now as executives, this is what BeyondEnergy enhances.
Cool. I know, it's interesting. So a lot of our viewers here watch CNBC's Shark Tank. Everybody loves that show, and they're fascinated about taking an idea, bring it to fruition. I know that we touched on the process, but how has that experience been so far? Was it easier? Was it harder than you thought? I mean, if you could tell us any of the behind the scenes, that would be super cool.
Sure. Well, most entrepreneurs believe in the saying that it takes twice as long and 3 times as much money. That's actually wrong. It takes 15 times more money and 17 times more time than you think you need. So, you know, the last 4 or 5 years for us have been incredible, but the amount of money that it takes and the amount of research and analysis is quite a significant process. So it's taken longer than expected, but at the same time, we started with 0 stores.
Right.
And to be at 220, I mean, we celebrate that every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't have a $100 million ad spend. Like, we didn't come out the gate with television ads. People drink our beverage because they believe in it and they believe in what it does for them.
Yeah.
They believe in the functionality.
Yeah. No, wow. Awesome. So where do you see the consumer goods industry? Like, where do you see this whole space going?
So consumer goods, I believe, will continue to follow suit with what's happened in television, music, and other industries. I think that it's going to be, you know, what you want, when you want it, and where you want it, delivered right to your door. And we're really exploring new business models right now as well that are much more focused on direct to consumer. Consumers have the power, and it's all from your phone. So Macy's, as of late, I'm sure as you know, closed 100 stores. So the writing is on the wall. You know, clothes are coming to your door, groceries are coming to your door.
BeyondEnergy coming to your door?
BeyondEnergy coming to your door.
So if you're feeling like you need a little kick of dopamine, you could just get on your BeyondEnergy app and it'll arrive.
Exactly. If you need a neurocognitive kick, then we'll be right at your door.
Why go for a run when you could just get a drink out of your mailbox?
Exactly.
So what's it like to work at BeyondEnergy? What's the corporate culture like?
So we're the most insane group of high-performance business athletes ever.
Okay.
Dr. Hemmon skis double black diamonds and runs up mountains. I'm training for Spartan race right now, and
cool.
I run and jump down mountains. Everybody within our company culture exudes performance. So most of us are CrossFitters, marathon runners, elite skiers, and a little crazy.
Yeah, no, hey, that's awesome. So it's obviously the Friday of Labor Day weekend,
Yes.
and we're talking about having fun and all that
Yes.
stuff. What do you do for fun? What do you do on the weekends and everything?
I
And you obviously came in from LA, so you have some
Yes.
cool LA stuff for us to hear about.
On the weekends, I run like 8 miles or further up and down mountains. I lift logs. Like, I try to channel my inner Old Spice man. No, but seriously, I work out for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I really enjoy it. Like, during the week, you know, I train daily, but when I get a chance to do longer workouts out in nature, that's honestly fun to me. Like, sitting in a movie theater is cool, but I like to be outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last question that I
Yeah.
have for you is the ethos of Nasdaq here is ambition, and we have our slogan, Ignite Your Ambition. So what advice could you give budding entrepreneurs? And I know that you have a ton of advice because obviously with your management consulting and all your experience. So what would be your advice for these newbies?
I actually have two things for any budding entrepreneur or anyone who wants to start their own business.
Yeah.
One, I'm going to give you a formula, and two, I'm going to give you a simple word.
Okay.
The formula is this, and I wrote this a while ago. V plus E equals RC. And what that means is value plus experience equals a returning customer.
Okay. Value plus experience equals a returning customer.
Yeah, because as you know, one of the most difficult things to do in business is to acquire a customer.
You know it.
And losing them is costly, and it'll kill you and shut you down.
That's right.
So the secret to acquiring, keeping a customer, show them the value, create a remarkable experience, and they'll come back every time and they'll tell people. Every time you make a business decision, ask yourself, am I creating value and a remarkable experience? And if you do that, you're going to stay in business. So that's number one. The second is a Greek word that I actually learned in my meditation this morning. And it's called...
This morning, you learned it this morning.
Yes. It's called meraki. And meraki means to do something with soul, energy, and creativity.
Oh, wow.
So distilling that down, simply what that means is don't start something for the money. Steve Jobs loved calligraphy and computers. Apple happened, and he worked really hard to create it, but it started from an ethos of passion, love, soul, and creativity. So BeyondEnergy for me, as well as my consulting firm, this is the life that I live. It's not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah, no, that everybody always says don't do things for the money, right? Don't chase the money will come.
Right, and it's hard to like, you know, just say that like, oh, don't do it for the money, yeah. You know, and when you're setting your broke in your dorm room or in your apartment, it's like, oh, what? I'm doing it for the money because I need it. But truly, businesses that sustain long-term revenues and profitability, that they do come from an ethos of passion. You know, John, that was on your first show from Cheddar, you could tell he absolutely loves what he does.
Loves it, loves it.
So that is the secret.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, James, for being here.
Elyse.
This
I
was
really
so
appreciate it.
fabulous, and thank you everyone for watching. I'm Elyse Southwell with Nasdaq Disruptors at the Nasdaq market site. Have a happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. Goodbye.